Watch this. She eats a whole lemon like an apple and doesn't even flinch. No stunt. No edit. Her tongue was retuned a minute earlier. The culprit is a tiny red fruit, miracle berry, placed on the tongue, rubbed, then swallowed. For up to 2 hours, acids red as sweet, lemons, limes, even straight vinegar. This isn't a drug, it's a protein handshake. Taste receptors, briefly reprogrammed. Your biology shifts, sweetness without sugar, then quietly resets. A flip at the receptor turns sour into strawberry, bite into candy, shipping, labels, barcodes. None of that explains what your tongue just did. So why isn't this everywhere? At tastings, in clinics, at the dessert table? If a berry can satisfy the sweet tooth, it threatens the spreadsheet. Fewer SKUs, fewer sugar miles, fewer must-have additives, real flavor, and now real sweetness, kept its head down, off the aisle. A living archive of fixes, priced out by planograms, not by truth. Scanners hum, but taste doesn't scan. Here's the hook. The $1,150 trap meets a 2-hour sweetness hack. Inputs balloon, margins vanish. Meanwhile, a berry rewrites the palate. Free. Yield climbs, profit sinks. Taste gets standardized thin. Price targets hit dashboards. Cravings still chase sugar. But change the metric. Satisfy sweet without the load. And the math tilts. Net effect, health up, costs down. If we dare to use biology, not branding. Our grandparents used plants to solve problems, on plates and on ledgers. Dollars a plant, not dollars a mile. Value grown, not shipped. One season paid the note. Flavor and resilience as revenue. Winter keepers, bowling ball beats, fed months without a barcode. Cheap, sturdy calories, cellar steady, bowl after bowl. 20 such keepers once anchored households. They still can. Then the dashboard took over the story. Uniformity over taste. Craft never left. Seed savers held the line for better bites. Now kitchens and farms can network. Aim data at flavor and resilience. Tools changed. Stakes grew. The canvas widened. The truth stayed simple. Biology beats branding. Resilience and now sweetness were inconvenient for the machine. So we'll look at forbidden fruits, Depression-era keepers returning, billionaire Gates and 242,000 acres, and the quiet research plots. Next, the $1,150 trap. Segment 1, miraculin, the berry that flips sour to sweet. On its own, the fruit tastes gently tart. Think cranberry, not candy. Miraculin is a protein that binds to taste receptors on your tongue, dampening sour signals while enhancing sweet perception. Then add acid, lime, lemon, or vinegar, and the brain reads intense sweetness. Sour off, sweet enhanced. The effect needs acidity and can last up to 2 hours before fading as saliva clears the protein. People call it flavor tripping. Useful context, not the focus. What matters is the switch itself. Low pH flips the protein on, so sour foods bloom as sweet without added sugar. Name it, try it, then test the edges. Lime, yogurt, vinegar. Next we push the demo into real plates. Segment 1 continues. Miracle berry. Not a party trick, a doorway. Pop a red berry, peel the skin, roll the pulp on your tongue, then sour turns sweet without sugar. Lemon wedges taste like lemonade. Vinegar reads as apple sweet. Your palate rewrites the bite. No syrups, no packets. Potential here for diabetics and anyone cutting sugar. Sweetness experienced, glucose spared. Food tastes sweet, blood sugar stays calmer. Pair a berry with citrus or yogurt, and dessert leans light, no added sugar. A single prep changes a week of plates. Inputs are simple. 1 berry, a minute on the tongue, then cook as usual. The recipe doesn't change, perception does. Kitchen test. Plain strawberries, plain kefir, squeeze of lime. After the berry, it reads like parfait. Another, grapefruit at breakfast. Bitter drops away. Bright candy remains and the spoon keeps going. We chase sugar with miles and barcodes. Here, sweetness is local, grown on a shrub, used at the table. Watch the counter, cubes dissolve down to 0. The flavor hits, but the sugar tally doesn't. Meanwhile, the pantry stays simple: citrus, yogurt, berries, cold shelf, warm plate, sweet bite, barcode ignored. Neighbors share a taste, lemons pass around the table, surprise turns into strategy. Change the metric: flavor and storage, not added sugar. Let breeding follow the bite, not the label. Why it matters: taste, resilience, and who keeps the grocery money when sweetness stops costing sugar. We'll show the hinges. Small choices that tip the plate toward health without giving up joy. And yes, taste. A sip of plain kefir and lime reads like dessert after one berry. Sweet, bright, clean. No fluff, no panic, just chemistry meeting craft. You steer the bite. First stop: berry, citrus, yogurt. Taste reset. Then map your week's meals around low sugar, high flavor moves. Steam curls, spoons clink, the room smiles. Flavor won, sugar skipped. Tradition meets a tiny red helper. Information times the bite. Timing matters. The berries effect blooms with acids. Plan the course, not the craving. Keep heart in mind. Sweet satisfaction without the sugar spike. Habits that carry winters. Label jars, share a pint. Teach a trick that lowers sugar and keeps flavor. A lifetime turns noise into signal. The dashboard, your notes, just write it down. Say little, let the numbers and the smiles say the rest. Credibility is earned, plate by plate, reading by reading. Tools help, notes, timers, meters. Soon, better breeding for flavor first. But the core stays human. Home cooks with a map in the pocket and a berry on the plate. Only known fruit that changes how other foods taste. Curtains open. Next, nature's masterpieces and why some can be dangerous. Segment 2, the economic saviors. Monstera Deliciosa, the fruit salad plant. House plant to rainforest vine, leaves like sails, roots like ropes. Its fruit smells like banana pineapple with a hint of vanilla when it's truly ripe. Catch: ripening takes over a year. Eat it early and it burns. The unripe flesh is loaded with needle-like calcium oxalate crystals that sting tongue and throat. This is patience food, not impulse fruit. Safe looks obvious. Hexagonal scales loosen and fall on their own, the cob-like surface showing creamy segments beneath. Then the aroma turns bright: banana, pineapple, vanilla, and the bite is silk sweet. Split screen, safe, scales dropping, creamy flesh exposed. Danger: intact green scales, subtle red warning. If it tingles or tastes sharp, stop. Let the plant finish its clock. Rule of scales: wait, catch the fall, then eat. Never peel to rush it. Handle like a slow ledger. Patience in, flavor out. Segment 2, taste test continues. Black Sapote and Buddha's hand, plain on the outside, extraordinary where it counts. Black Sapote, unripe, olive green, firm, chalky, astringent. If it's hard, don't cut. Not yet. Wait for ripeness. Skin dulls and yields, calyx loosens, fruit feels slightly sagged. Then you cut. Cut to reveal. Inside turns custardy, spoonable, chocolate pudding texture. First spoon, cocoa banana notes, silky, low acid. A squeeze of lime wakes it up. Precision matters. Unripe is inedible. Ripe is dessert. Timing, not looks, decides. Now Buddha's hand. No pulp, no juice, no seeds. It's grown for fragrance. An intoxicating citrus perfume that fills a room. Use the peel and pith. Candy, syrups, spirits, sugar jars. Hang one to scent the kitchen. Overhead, segmented fingers. Aroma plumes imagined above a clean surface. Beauty by scent, not juice. Spec sheets can't grade perfume. Scanners don't read ripeness. Off the aisle. Growers and markets know the window. Sapote at peak. Buddha's hand for scent. One ripe sapote and one Buddha's hand. Dessert, syrup, and a perfumed room. Pennies if homegrown. Choose for ripeness and aroma, not travel-hard skins or uniform shine. Change the KPI, bricks, aroma plume, and give at the stem. Not just packability, bottom line, flavor over looks. Let data serve the bite, and put superior heirlooms back on plates. Segment 3, the market ban. Our system quietly trades flavor for control. Transportability, uniform specs, and shelf life win the shelf. Taste gets pushed off it. Spec sheets toss irregulars long before you choose. Ribbed skins, green shoulders, thin walls. Flagged as risk, not flavor. Shelf life becomes the KPI. Flavor is downgraded to variance. That's the ban. No law, just checkboxes upstream. Cold chains, barcodes, contracts, control by design. Pretty logistics, quieter plates. Meanwhile, keepers wait off-aisle. Sunchokes, cabbages, parsnips, built for winter, bred for plates. The aisle rewards shape over taste, distance over resilience. That's how flavor leaves the map. Then, consolidation. Acreage concentrates. Decisions move to dashboards and memos. Bill Gates is now the largest private farmland owner in the U.S., about 242,000 acres across 18 states. Orbit steers pivots. Satellites track the pass. Access and capital shape what gets grown and what gets tasted. At the margins, fenced test plots, saline grains, unfamiliar tubers. Real science. Tastings are rare. Call it a market filter. Specs upstream decide dinner downstream. Flavor doesn't scan. But there's another path. Keepers that store, reseed, and feed without a barcode. Pair data with taste. Measure bricks, aroma, ripeness, right storage. Not just packability. Air and data conserve resilience. Drones mapping heat and water to time the flavor, not just the freight. That's how the ban lifts. Let performance mean taste and storage, not only miles and minutes. Keep the loop human. Shovel, shelf, season, then use tools to scale what truly tastes good. Ledger simple. Grow what keeps, save what works, and write it down so neighbors can too. Half to the shelf, half to replant. One crop doing two jobs when winters run long. Respect to the keepers, growers, teachers, and sellers that make resilience taste like supper. We traded steady systems for fragile chains. Rebuild with keepers and metrics that honor flavor. Next, how air and data can help bring flavor and resilience back. Segment 3, over the pivots, circles tick like clockwork. Satellite cues the pass, valves blink on schedule. Moisture and heat paint fields in color, greens, ambers, reds, so every sweep hits its mark. At the margins, clipped rows trial saline-tolerant lines. Future climate candidates that most shoppers will never taste. Not a mystery, orbit, pumps, and capital. Systems tuned for throughput, not for flavor. Dashboards glow, thermal and moisture maps animate. Salt scars trace bright across the screen. Reports note unrecognized crops in fenced plots, designed for heat, dryness, and brine. Lab notes move by memo, not by tasting spoon. The secrecy isn't a plot, it's access. Who funds the trials, who owns the pivots, who sees the data first. Along a fence, restricted area signs, plot tags on short rows, anonymized notebooks under a clipboard. Results flow upstream to gates and ledgers. Aisles stay standardized and calm. Logistics, capital, access, no conspiracy required. Map the handoff so flavor and resilience make it back to plates. Next, ground cherries. Segment 3, King Ranch. About 825,000 acres, sovereign-like scale. Fences run past the horizon, windmills dot the scrub. Maps shade a quiet, underground ocean of fresh water. On paper it looks like a county. On the ground it feels like a country. Land, stock, and water moving to one set of gates. Beneath, salt domes rise like buried mountains, caverns leased for the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Cross-sections show brine and storage, valves and lines. Energy banked in hollowed salt while aquifers thread the strata above. Surface to subsurface, the map stacks power. Put it together, concentrated land, control of freshwater, mineral rights, and seed decisions, stacked behind locked gates. That's leverage over plates you'll never see in an aisle. Remember the pattern. Next, we'll taste how choice returns when flavor, not access, sets the rules. Segment 4, a 1930s comeback. West Virginia mechanic Charlie Biles clocks out, then by lamplight hand crosses heirlooms, season after season, until the line holds. He names it Mortgage Lifter, huge pink-red slicers, often 2 to 4 pounds. One-cut blanket spread, juice runs, perfume rises, and the plate remembers why flavor mattered. Depression porch sales, seedlings at $1 a plant, cars idle at the curb, neighbors pass cash, a grease-stained ledger inches forward. By season's end, the total flips. Paid, about $6,000. Stores rejected the irregular shoulders, supper didn't. One big tomato feeds a table, thick slices, pennies if homegrown. That's a solution you can plant. Segment 4, Jerusalem artichoke. Plant once, it returns, clumps spreading at the fence line, season after season. Spring shoots, summer bloom, frost falls, and the food is still there, waiting in the ground. Harvest test, snow crust, a fork bites, tubers lift clean. Dig all winter, even in frozen ground. Low input, high resilience, calories on your schedule, not the grids. Field to cellar, bins cool and dark, rinse mud, dry skins, stack crates. Eat the large, save the small for replant. Perennial yield on a loop you control. This is a food system, seed pieces in an envelope, food in the floor. While chains depend on trucks and prices, your basket depends on weather and a shovel. Plant once, it pays through winter. Next, why corn math is fragile and how to pair craft with code. Segment 4, Danish ballhead, the winter keeper. Tight bowling ball heads, waxy leaves, bred for a cool cellar. 8 months on a shelf, October through May, and as the air drops, starch turns to sugar. Colder, sweeter, steadier suppers. Watch the cellar do the chemistry. Cool, dark, quiet. Heads stacked like green cannonballs. A hook scale thumps. A thermometer mines the range. Flavor doesn't fade. It sweetens in the cold. Next, Mangal Wurzel, the 20-pound beet. Big-shouldered, cellar steady, built for hard months. One crop, 2 jobs. Family plates and winter stock, both carried by a single root. Crates to the cellar, cool, damp, dark. Half to the pot, half to the pen. Labels on the board, rows paid in bowls and feed. Pantry wealth, flavor and resilience baked into the plan. Segment 6, Throughput math versus pantry math. Modern corn 2025. Inputs near $1,150 per acre. Even at roughly 240 bushels per acre, the ledger can run red. Line items, seed, fertilizer, chemicals, fuel, rent, add to about $11.50 per acre. Revenue math, 240 bushels, times $3.70 is roughly $888. Margin, near minus $260 per acre. Counterpoint, heritage systems. Low input, storage ready, plant keepers, cure and bin, jars on a shelf. Value holds as food, not freight. Throughput favors uniform miles and barcodes. Keepers favor steady plates, no cold chain, fewer losses, flavor first. 2 ledgers. Spreadsheet in red, minus $260 per acre. Pantry in green, bins, jars, and keepers that bridge months. Choose metrics, flavor, storage, resilience. Heirloom independence is simple. Plant what keeps, cook what sings, save what works, share the surplus. Let data serve the bite, and keep the margin off the shelf and in your cellar. Segment 6, Mudanjiang Mega Farm, China. In a region with roughly 22 million acres under cultivation, about 100,000 dairy cows move on schedule. AI sets rotations, robots cycle the lines. Not a stampede, a system. Sterile halls, stainless loops, overhead hum, work paced by algorithms and the heartbeat of pumps. Rotary carousels turn, cows step on, cups lift, meters tally, RFID tags ping each udder, lasers steady the fit, screens glow, flow rates, cell counts, uptime, while polished pipes push white rivers to chilled tanks. Feed is math here. Automated mixers weigh, blend, and belt rations down long alleys. Hutches, heifer barns, fresh pens, each lane triggered by a schedule AI keeps minute by minute. Algorithms don't tire, they repeat. Inputs flow, outputs post to dashboards. Clean, predictable, relentless. Split the screen. Control, throughput, variance, alerts versus heritage. Bells, frost breath, a rider at first light. Industrial control beside heritage craft, both chasing steady milk and a living. Sensors flag heat and health. Maps color stalls by risk. A mastitis alert here, a fertility window there. Roots drawn before boots hit the floor. Calm, precise. AI trims variance from every hour. Control at scale. Numbers first, then hands. The system holds until it doesn't. The scale is staggering, and the engineering undeniable. The question is older than any dashboard. What story do we want in the milk, in the land, in us? No verdict, just a gate and a meadow on the same horizon waiting for our choice. Heritage or control, or both, wisely paired. Choose the story you'll eat. Segment 6, Schwarzentruber Amish. Off-grid on purpose. Kerosene coolers, icehouse blocks, light by flame. Candlelit cellars set the rhythm. Jars, crocks, and hand routines that don't need a socket. Cellars breathe slow. Rows of jars, lard tins, crocks under burlap. Meat is boiled about 3 hours, sealed in its own broth, then carried down warm to rest in the cool. Shelf-stable by skill, not circuitry. By candle and habit, they bank calories like time. Wash, label, stack, trade with kin. If the grid fails, life continues unchanged. Preparedness here is ordinary life, repeated well. Segment 6, Glass Gemcorn, jewel-like kernels, stained glass shine, kept by Cherokee farmer Carl Barnes. Memory you can plant, beauty that feeds, a lineage you can hold. In the hand, ears crackle. Kernels click blue, rose, amber into the bowl. Save the best, label the ear, replant, the rainbow returns. Stone milled to meal, warm nutty aroma lifting from the burrs. Polenta, cornbread, grits that taste like late sun. Measure, whisk, pour, iron skillet sings, cut the steaming wheel, golden edge, butter slipping into the crumb. Independence tastes like this. Seed saved, rows replanted, neighbors swapping ears at the fence. One harvest funds the next, no barcode between you and supper. Dry on the rack, braid and hang, winter nights, shell into jars, ruby and jade under lamplight. Low input, high joy, one ear, many seasons. Thank you, Carl Barnes. Proof that flavor and freedom fit inside a seed envelope. Segment 5, what we already had put back to work. Trellis 2 rows of Kentucky Wonder or yard-long beans. Sun and strings turn fence lines into suppers. Heat-tough vines climb high. The more you pick, the more they set. Sow after warm nights, mulch deep, water slow, harvest every other day. Vertical food, small footprint, baskets fill fast. Quick wins underfoot. Cultivated dandelion and lamb's quarters. Sow a strip or let a patch volunteer. They shrug at drought and poor soil. Harvest tender leaves for salads. Later, sauté with garlic and a splash of vinegar. Blanch and freeze a bag. Dry a tray for tea. Cheap iron, calcium, vitamins A and K, nutrients without miles. Rhythm to copy. Trellis up, pick often, cook simple, garlic, oil, salt. Save a few dry pods for seed. Label the jar and pass a packet to a neighbor. Beans climb, weeds feed, baskets fill. Flavor and resilience, back on your terms. Between AI megasystems and heritage sovereignty, we stand, sun on the fence line, hands ready to decide. Miracle Berry isn't a parlor trick. It proves nature can outcreate industrial blandness, retraining taste toward real food. Grow Mortgage Lifter, save Glass Gem, swap starts at the fence. Each season a small vote for independence. Start small, start now. Full sun or a fence line. Trellis 2 rows, mulch deep, water slow. Let heat test your choices. Keep what sings through 95 and frost alike. Cook simple, garlic, salt, a little oil, and taste resilience on the plate. Save a few pods dry, label the jar, share starts with a neighbor. Next season, plant what performed, compost what didn't. The garden stops obeying barcodes and starts feeding you on your terms. One seed, one supper, one shared story at a time. Your turn. Stop yanking lamb's quarters and other weeds. Many are supper and medicine. Avoid the killers, bad timing, overfeeding and sloppy harvests. Reclaim forgotten wisdom, one small bed at a time. Subscribe and join the Heritage Rebels. Learn, share, and keep flavor alive. Next up, the underground ocean investigation at King Ranch. How water, maps, and money shape what we eat. Across these acres, the proof is small and living. A miracle berry, a bean, a seed that remembers. On plates, heirlooms speak in juice and perfume. Simple suppers that outlast fashion. Start with one trellis, one row, the meal teaches the next row. Jars on a shelf shine like promises, winter keepers that say you're in charge of February. Neighbors trade cuttings and envelopes. Billionaires can own land, but not the 1,000-year seed magic. Each kernel carries story and skill, flavor, freedom, and a path home for the table. Reclaim flavor, reclaim land, peace. Thanks for riding along. One seed, one supper, one shared story at a time.